3. Hello, everyone. Jessica Peterson here with Purpose Powered People. I am very honored and excited to have Steve here. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Jessica.
I know I'm not sitting here on my couch for our couch talks. I'm trying to wrap up work today, especially right before all the holidays. So I like to start out every call or every video call. Please tell us something awesome about your day, Steve.
Well, as far as awesomeness goes for the day, I would say I just first-time home buyer, was able to save her a nice chunk of money, and she was very happy. And I got her all set up for her closing in January, and I just made her day. She was real happy, very pleased with how simple everything was, and makes her day. It made my day.
I love that. And you actually are my insurance agent. And I really value that you love to save people money. You truly care for people. And you always like to ask people, what would you do with the extra savings? I know you've saved my friends $500, almost $2,000 a year. And so with our savings, we put that towards fun memories, travels. We've got several trips planned for this upcoming year. So every dollar adds up, right?
Definitely does. Yes.
Adds up. So some I know say college funds, they love to put the money towards, or you're hearing a lot right now, Christmas gifts and, travels, and any other ways that you've heard people say that they want to utilize their money?
That's about it. Just some of them, the one person I saved almost $100 a month. They're just glad to have that extra cash in their pockets. And actually, I'm working with someone right now, a financial planner, on saving their clients some money, because the goal is to put that savings into their portfolio.
It definitely adds up. We're not financial advisors, but I'm curious, like you said, $100 a month, an X amount of time, what does that typically look like? It's probably a good chunk of change, maybe 30, 40,000 over, I don't know, 30, 40 years. I have to sit down and figure that out.
Right. Yeah, it definitely does add up. And it just, like I said, it makes my day when I can save someone that kind of money.
Yeah.
Because you can just hear them, if you will, smiling on the phone. They're just so ecstatic.
And what I also appreciate about you is it's not just about insurance. It's really about hearing people's dreams, goals. I know people locally in the community, or even outside your community in the state, will come to you and share their business goals or their goals for next year. And you love to connect people with the right people and resources, correct?
That's correct. And I just did that today too. I
love it. I absolutely love that about you as well. So I hear you won some big awards, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm being awarded for being one of the top 10 agents within our company, if you will, of independent agents. As I've grown over more than $500,000 in less than 2 years. So just it's quite an award, and like I say, that's why I'm looking forward to the holidays. To slow down a little bit just for another busy year hits.
Yes, and you deserve that award because, again, you truly care for people, and that's what it comes down to. And I know the more you make, the more you love, to do good. So have you been active in any volunteering or charities or anything lately?
I've been involved in a couple areas. One is, I help with music is one of my passions. I've done several community Christmas parties, company Christmas parties over the last couple of weeks, just play some music or jazz piano. I've helped a couple people on Facebook when I've asked them, what would you do with the savings? And a couple of them responded, well, I would give it to my kids because I lost my job or I had surgery and don't have a lot of money. I've actually taken on a couple of those people and have been sending them gifts. Just because some of those have just touched me enough where it's like I want to do something for them. So those are a couple of things that I've done. I also do handbells at a place up in Longmont. I just try to get out and help bring some cheer to people.
That's good. I saw one woman posted, it touched my heart. Her husband died and her daughter was without a dad, and I know that you're doing something nice for them. So it's very nice of you for your good heart to do that in the community. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Now, your background, you were a teacher.
Yes.
And I know you battle leukemia. Mm-hmm. And so based on our conversations, when you battled cancer, you realized you had to live life to the full. So how did you go from teacher to insurance broker?
Well, how much time do you have? It's kind of a long progression. I started in business development and marketing down in Golden. We had at a company that had the main contract for cleaning up Rocky Flats. Our parent companies bought a Westinghouse, which did everything we did and more, so it phased us out. And a friend of mine who from college knew that I had played music, so he said, hey, we need a music director out here. So I said, sure, why not? So we went out there. But I continued graphic design business out of my home. And as I got a little bit more into it, I continued to teach music, continued to train musicians, teach adults. But I got my MBA, started teaching at a local college in the evenings. And then someone has suggested to me, because as I was thinking about going back into the business world, but I wasn't quite sure the angle. And someone suggested, well, go get some sales experience. So I quit my day job and became a car salesman just to get the sales experience. This is in Nebraska from the months of November through May. Oh. And that was one of the snowiest winters I had on record. So I got the sales experience, and by the second month, I was the number 2 salesperson. My insurance agent we talked a lot, and so he said, well, hey, Steve, how would you like to work for me? So I did. And as a result, I went to work as a producer, and so as a result, his numbers increased so much that a recruiter for one of the insurance companies out there, I'm not going to mention the names, had found me and took me through the agency program and all the training. So I became agent. I didn't really like the way the corporation was going and the things it told us to tell clients, so I never really felt like I helped them. I was always feeding money into a corporation, so I left there and became independent. So long story longer, that's how I got into insurance. So it incorporates business development, marketing, the teaching, the training, the mentoring. It really encompasses everything that I've done in the past, all in this one area. I never thought about doing insurance before, but now that I've been doing it, I love it. It gives me the opportunity to connect with people, help people, and most of all, just protect them.
I love it. So your purpose, it sounds like, is to connect with people, help people, and protect them. Would you say that's your purpose?
I think that's pretty fair, yes.
Okay. And I value that purpose. Thank you. And so you mentioned, well, first of all, I'm dying to know, do people actually go out and buy cars in snowy blizzards?
They do. Not many, but a few of them do venture out. They usually wait to clear the lots, but we just sit inside then and eat donuts and stay warm.
I was going to say, wow. And so with you not having the car experience, what do you think contributed to you being by month 2 the top car salesperson?
Energy, just drive. When someone did venture onto the parking lot, boom, I was out there. Helps to be able to walk and run faster than the other people.
I'm sure there was more to it than that.
Yeah, but it's just an inner drive to want to connect and help someone find a car.
Okay, so that inner drive. So that translates into your insurance. I was actually having a conversation with the financial planner the other day, and it's amazing how many people don't realize their financial planners may not truly have their best interest at heart. They're forced to put people in certain products or programs.
Right.
And I value that this financial planner is not forced to do anything. So same with you, like you said, in the corporate world, and now you truly can represent your client. You're not forced, to put anybody into one product or service. I know we just had an interview with a mortgage professional, same thing, which it's rare to find anymore. So it sounds like to me that you really, truly do have the client's interest best at heart, correct?
That's correct. And that's why I love being an insurance broker, is because I don't work for any one company. I represent them and can sell any one of them, but I represent the client, because as I connect that person to the right fit of an insurance company. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the commission, doesn't matter. Just I connect them with what best fits for them.
Awesome. So you're married and you have 2 kids, right?
3.
3. Okay, sorry, 3. So how long have you been married for?
I'm glad this isn't like live TV.
Well, it will be later on. It will
It's
be later on.
23 going on 24 years.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So what's your secret to having a good long marriage?
Some of us compromise, trying to understand each other. Communication is always key, especially the last couple of years as a new business owner. Communicating when I'm going to be late, or I got to meet a client, or have to do this and that, and then the hard part right now is what I try to do is just carving out that time to be with family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, even if I have to stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning, I'd rather do that so that the next day I don't have to go into the office. I can just stay home on a Saturday and Sunday and just hang out with the rest of them and just do whatever.
Yes. You know how to fix that. Systems higher, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm all about in my company. But you know, the other day at worship, they brought this up. You don't want the day to control you, but you control the day. And I'm excited to see as you keep growing, you keep hiring, and I do know you're very good at time management. So that's very commendable. And I'm happy to hear you spend time with your family. With that being said, how did you meet your wife?
That was back at college. She was actually she majored in music. I only minored in it so I could get a scholarship to get me through school. So we met through the music program, and because I was an organist, and she was one who helped turn pages and that kind of thing and helped set things up. I just went in, played, and went and hung out with the guys and got in and out. But we just started seeing each other more at breakfast time and just started talking and connecting, and kind of went from there.
Now you play the organ, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Awesome. For how long? How many years now have you played it?
Since June of 1985. There's a shortage of organists up in Michigan, where I grew up, over in Midland and Bay City, and so I had been taking piano lessons, and I just got tired of it, and so I just kind of gravitated to the organ because I heard it on the radio, and I said, I want to learn that piece. And so I just started training myself, and I would listen to, at that time it was a cassette tape. I would listen to the cassette tape for a few minutes, follow the music, and then figure out how I would play it, and then I would go back and do the next section until I finally made it all the way through. So it was just that drive to become an organist, but it was back in 1985 when I first started everything.
Wow. I bet you're pretty talented on it.
It's fun. I'll tell you that. It's fun. I stand out from other organists because I told myself if I was gonna play organ, I was not gonna be like the standard organist who just plays kind of dirgy kind of music. I was going to excel and go for the big stuff, and then that's basically what happened.
Awesome. So for your wife, I want to say one more thing. What do you absolutely love about her, like the top traits about her?
You're sending her a video of this?
No. Well, it will be in the book. I'm sure she would like to see some praise in a book.
That's true. I just like when she's just lighthearted. She's just very fun to be around. She just kind of lightens up the environment. When she's smiling or goofing off. I also like her energy. I like her desire to always want to communicate and talk, except when it's after 11 o'clock at night. I mean, just her willingness and always wanting to be able to talk. This is kind of like waking up in the morning. It's like being anxious to hear you. What's your spouse going to be the first thing your spouse is going to say? And just you just sense that. So just that's probably the top couple things.
That's good. We're opposite in our household. Don't talk to us till we had our coffee.
Well, I don't drink coffee, so we're good there.
You're good. You're really good there in that area. Now, your children, how old are they and what are their names?
Daniel is 18, goes on 19 in May. He is a freshman now in college, studying to go into teaching. I've got a 16-year-old daughter. She's a sophomore in high school, and then I've also got she just turned 13-year-old daughter who's in 7th grade.
So tell us something that you value about each one of your kids.
Go from top to bottom. So Daniel just his drive. He's so quickly becoming an independent young man. It's amazing to see him grow, but it's just like he's and just the ability to take on responsibility. Because he's out in Nebraska for college, so I tell him, it's like after snow and it clears off, here's how you can clean your car, here's what you can do. And he texts me, "Hey Dad, I just washed my car today, and I did these things that you told me to do that I've seen you do." And because he doesn't often ask how to do something, he just observes from a distance. So you just really seeing him as he takes on responsibility, seeing him also doing those things that I thought were lost to the wind, that you now are coming out, and just really see how those things have formed him into the person he is.
That's pretty cool. Okay, what about the next two?
Megan, she's really taken on responsibility too, and I love it, because but I tell you, she just kind of laid around, for her first year or so of high school, and then she wanted an iPhone, and she said, "Oh, my friends' parents buy them their phones." So, well, good for them. So she's like, well, I want an iPhone. I said, well, then you need to put some skin in the game. And she's like, well, what does that mean? You got to get a job. You help pay for this. And she actually last summer, she asked me what to say. She would go in someplace, into a store or whatever. And so she actually went in, rode her bike all around town, and found places for applications, and she actually found a job on her own. And she is just becoming such a responsible young lady now. And it's just amazing to see her grow and blossom. And I love the fact too that she's a daddy's girl. She likes to walk and run with me. She has the same schedule as I do. We don't like mornings, but we like staying up late. So almost every night she's like, "Dad, okay, I got my stuff done. You want to watch a show together?" And so we'll watch a show till about midnight, and then she goes to bed and I go to bed. And, but she's just becoming such a young, responsible lady, and it's just fun to watch that happen. But I told her she can't have a boyfriend yet. She still needs to hang out with Dad.
Good. And it sounds like she's a lot like you. You said running. You guys go running together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also mentioned, it sounds like she's determined. I mean, you get on her bike and go out there and get her own job.
Right.
It sounds like a future salesperson too.
I'm pushing her every time I say you can work him off. She's like, no. But we'll see how that goes. And then Lauren, she's, like I said, she's a 7th grader. She's also another very responsible person. And she's also very caring, which I really like about her. Just like if something happens during the day, I mean, she can usually sense it come home, or wife comes home and she's like, "So how was your day?" And she'll ask those types of questions. And she also loves me being around her. At night, she'll be in her bed tucked in. My wife will go in there. She'll pretend like she's asleep. And so my wife will just leave right away. I go in there. She opens her eyes and pats on the bed because she wants me to sit down with her and rub her back and talk to her. And so she's real sweet. But like I say, she's just a very caring individual.
Another daddy's girl. I know my husband, my daughters all, I don't want mommy reading me stories, only daddy. So must be a daddy-daughter thing, right?
Must be. I love it.
So tell us, as a kid, what did you love to do?
As a kid, I grew up in a town of 2,000 back up in Michigan. I love to ride my bike, country roads all over the place. My best friend and I used to go spearing in some of the creeks that ran around town. Yeah, bike. My parents owned a cabin on an interior lake, so we used to go. Yeah, used to sail, fish, swim, water ski, lot of water sports.
So how big was your school?
My grade school? Well, there are 14 in my class, and it was about 100, 110 or so.
Wow, that's tiny. Do you still stay in touch with all those people?
Some of them I've lost them. I'm not sure where they went. But yeah, I still see them on occasion.
That's good. That's awesome. What was it like going to a small school?
Well, I didn't know any better. I liked it. I liked it mainly because you knew everybody, just like the town. And I mean, my dad and I would walk a lot in the evenings, and you're always just constantly waving as you're walking down these streets because it's like everybody knows each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it's just a very relational kind of thing, which is probably why I like those connections today.
Absolutely. So what did your parents do for work?
My dad was a Lutheran pastor.
Okay.
And then my mom, she did a couple things. Most of the time she stayed home and there were 5 of us siblings, so she stayed at home most of the time and got a part-time job I remember when I was in, I think around 7th or 8th grade. She started getting into the workforce. Now she works at the world's largest Christmas store in Frankenmuth, Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize there were 5 of you. So tell us, if someone could describe you in 3 words, is it the same words going on purpose, or do you have something different?
One would be integrity. Is I do what's right for someone. And as far as clients go, as it's doing what's right, even if they try to push the envelope or push your limits or something. I'll still say, or recommend you stay with your insurance company, or I recommend that you have this because of. I'm not someone who's just going to simply try to sell you on something just to make a sale. That's just not who I am. So integrity is one. Communicative. You're following up with people on a timely basis. You're treating them and speaking to them respectfully. So it's communication, and then overachiever is probably another word. It's always trying to strive to be above the cut. Mediocre has never been in my vocabulary. I don't like being mediocre. I've never liked it. I always shoot higher. I shoot for the stars. Going beyond the call of duty is always doing the extra thing instead of. I don't like status quo. So it's always that purpose of going higher, because I know that I can.
Were you always that way, even as a kid, always striving to go higher?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what are I would like to hear a little bit more in a certain area, and that is your customers. And do you have any 1 or 2 outstanding stories you want to share, or?
Boy, it's so much of it just is wrapped around saving them money, and making things so easy. I've had several customers who said, "Oh, well, we never changed because we thought it was going to be really hard or complicated process," and they've commented on how very simple that I've made it. So I've got that, and like I said, probably the record is around 1,400 that I've saved somebody over the course of a year. I'm not sure beyond that. Just people are typically very happy with the experience that they have here.
Yeah, the experience is something, because I know for ourselves in the past and others, they never hear from their insurance agent. You actually value to stay in touch, take an interest, want to do nice things for them. What are 3 fun facts about you that nobody knows?
What nobody knows? Most of my clients don't know that I do the music on the side. And when I tell them that I lead a handbell group, they're like, huh? What's that? But I mean, so that's one fun thing, is just the music on the side. But the handbells is probably they would find that fun, because most people don't know what handbell or handbell choir is. So that's one thing. Another is, yeah, I've been in an MSNBC commercial, and I was also a lead role number of years back in the show Touched by an Angel.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay, so let's back up to the bell. All I can think of is Cowbell by Will Ferrell. I don't know if you're familiar with that cowbell.
No, it's just not that.
Not that. Okay, that's the only kind of bell. So it sounds like probably something a little bit more elegant, right?
Yeah, they're pretty elegant. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know how familiar you are with music, but it's just, yeah, I'd love to, always wanted to have a 4 or 5 octave choir. Typically I had a 3. So usually about 11 people or so, and they each assigned about 4 notes, like on the keyboard, then consecutive. And they just, as we move along in the music, they just play at the right spots or different techniques. And it's kind of like the Salvation Army guy. But I mean, you imagine a bell, sometimes it could be smaller, it could be much larger. And that determines the pitch or the note that you're playing. So you've got, everybody has a different size bell and rings at different times based on which note or on the scale is being played. Yeah,
Okay, I had no idea. Do you? Okay, so I just had an aha moment. By the way, the hottest trends for social media next year came out. It's relationships, which I know you're great at through social media. The other area is video, which I know you're going to be working on. The other one, Facebook, of course, always dominates, and you do a great job. I know you've got an assistant that helps you out with that. So for video, how fun would it be if you did a short little video, save someone, and you say how much money, and you ring your little bell? I could totally see you doing that.
Yeah, it's a thought.
That'd be fun. So Touched by an Angel, when was this? How did you get that? Tell us what that's all about.
Boy, when was that? That was back in around the year 2000 or so. And it's one of those jobs is in between jobs I had, because I had actually gone to the seminary, which I guess could be another fun fact for you that most people don't know.
I had no idea. Huh.
Yeah. So I was actually a minister for a little bit. But anyway, it was this old country church back in the Midwest, and this film crew had driven past it because a town in Beatrice, Nebraska, had a church looked just like it. The old country church is white, big tall steeple. But the thing was that that particular night, it just seemed like a miraculous sort of thing, because the boiler was working itself to death, literally, and there was supposed to be a choir practice that night. Well, the choir director didn't show up on time, so the choir people obviously couldn't get into the church. And so, I mean, as the story went, it just they contacted the director, and because of the way things worked and the timing delays, what ended up happening is the boiler exploded. And so the Touched by an Angel or a miracle, however you want to describe it, was simply that as a result of these delays, this choir group of close to 20 to 30 people, their lives were spared. And so this film crew had driven by the church where I was the minister at, and so they had just asked, I said, hey, this looks exactly like the place down in Beatrice that blew up. Would you mind if we did this episode here? So I got a whole bunch of people lined up, and I was, of course, the minister, and so we the whole episode was just dedicated toward that incident, and I played the main role in it.
Wow. Have you had a desire to do any more acting since then?
No.
Well, that's super awesome that you were able to do that and to have that Touched by an Angel. Had no idea. Do you still have access to that TV show? It'd be fun for you to.
I don't. I don't actually. We even got to go to the producer's house in Omaha, and they watched it and edited it and had a little cast party, if you will. And so it was kind of fun, but I don't have access to it.
Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer. Okay, so anything else you want to add before we go ahead and wrap up?
Yeah, I guess, well, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but just like you had mentioned, the leukemia, it's a fact that has helped shape my life. It's just given me a different perspective on things. With when you have cancer, it's either you give into it or you fight it. And I fought it. So it's kind of like conquering the unconquerable. And then for me, it was at a time when it was leukemia. So at that time, it was like 85% of the kids died, 15% lived. And the protocol, the treatment plan I had was aggressive. It was kind of a new thing. So now, because of that type of program or protocol, now it's about 15% of the kids still died, but about 85% live. So at that time, I beat death, if you will. So it gives you, like I said, gives you a different perspective on life, gives you a different perspective on people and their problems, and keeping problems in perspective. There's really nothing too big to achieve. It's just kind of the other side of that is I beat it. It just is helping, being able to go back and help the disadvantaged, whether it's paying too much for insurance, or like at the beginning of our conversation, those people on Facebook who had the surgery or husband died or whatever, now they can't give gifts to their kids, and just being able to have that heart for people who are in need and maybe don't feel like they can beat something. So that's, like I said, I'm not sure I'd call it a fun fact, but definitely a fact of me that most people still don't know, that has shaped me and brought me to where I am.
So I had no idea you were given only 15% chance to survive. And how old were you?
That was freshman in high school, so I was 14. And it was October 4th of 1984.
Wow. And how did you discover you were holding on to leukemia?
Well, my dad and I were putting in a cedar log seawall at our cabin, and I was just constantly tired out lifting these big cedar logs into place. As a teenager, you shouldn't be that tired that quickly. And I just discovered I had these lumps on my chest, which was a result of the cancer, but it was also crushing my windpipe, so I really couldn't breathe well either. And so, the doctor of the town of 2000 wasn't real sure what was going on. We took x-rays, and he forwarded them off to a couple bigger city hospitals. And finally, that was sent down to Mott's Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, and they said, he's got leukemia, we got to get him down here ASAP. So that's what it was. It was the bumps on my chest, as well as the shortness of breath and being tired out. And
wow.
Led to another, and boom, in the hospital for a month.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you volunteer at the hospital now?
I haven't around here, but I've gone back to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, and I've gone to the cancer ward where I had been, a pediatric hematology, I think it is, and you've just kind of hung out in the waiting rooms and talked to the kids, and just said, hey, I was you way back when, and you can do this too. Wow,
that's amazing. How fun would it be to see you do that here in Denver too? Never know.
Yeah, never know.
Never know. Well, I'm really grateful you shared that. That's a powerful story, so thank you. Anyone else listening, going through that, I hope that they can be inspired. So, okay, Steve. Well, I can't wait to see your story written up for Purpose Powered People. Grateful for all you do and being a great insurance broker out here in Colorado, Lafayette. So Anyhow, we'll keep staying in touch. Have a great one, Steve.
Thank you too, Jessica.
Bye.
Bye.